Why am I old and breaking out? All that sugar you eat, Elliot. Stop it. You're not a child. Okay, I got tagged a few days ago by Michael Knipp for the concert tag and have not been able to do it. I was going to film it the one night that I actually had some free time, but my dog jumped up on the couch next to me when I was trying to read like one short chapter in Their Eyes Were Watching God, and then I woke up at 1 a.m. or something, so it didn't happen. And then I've just been busy and traveling, and right now I'm with my boss, and he ran in to try to go get a haircut, and I told him I would just sit in the car and I was just going to watch Booktube, so I was like, ugh, I should just really just film this video. So that's what we're doing. The first one is Tickets, the most recent book you either bought or checked out from the library. Let's pull up Amazon. I know I just got Anna Karenina, Indeed, With the Fire on High, Soul of an Octopus, Exhilaration, Winnie the Pooh, the Collector Edition, and the complete stories of Flannery O'Connor. I also finally got a physical copy of Stephen King's It. I had done that on audiobook. Wanted to get a physical copy just to have sit on a shelf. Amazon had a buy two, get one free sale thing going on, so I kind of went through like my entire 2020 wish list and opened every book that was on there to see if it was in that category, and any of them that were, I added to cart and then kind of pared down to things that I actually really wanted. Got Brett Contreras' Glute Lab, because I want a big beefy booty. You know, I want to be beautiful. Okay, question 2 is The Crowd. Bookish community that you love, can be real life or in a book. It's like such a weird question for people on Booktube, because I think most of us are just going to say Booktube. I like the idea of Byzans, which if you haven't heard, it lets you kind of like Goodreads, you like add a book to it like Peter Pan, and then you can go into the I'm currently reading it chat group, or the I've already read it and want to discuss spoilery stuff. I'll have to check it out again. 3 is Sing Along, a book that you quote every time you get a chance. I don't know. Do I really quote books that much? I mean, if I do, it's probably because there's a movie version of it, and I love the way the person in the film did the quote. Like Devil Wears Prada. Yeah, I'm going to have to say I don't know on that one. Number 4 is Sold Out, a book that I'm really looking forward to, but just haven't read yet. I guess that's going to have to be The Starless Sea. I am technically ever so slightly over halfway. I bought this book. I have multiple copies of it, signed copies of it. I don't know, I just got like sidetracked. I'm like the ADD reader or ADHD reader or something. I'm easily distracted. Okay, number 5 is The Band, a book or series that I love, that I wish everybody would read so I can fanboy about it. The Little Prince, The Night Circus, potentially The Starless Sea. His Dark Materials, Dear Edward I've recently really loved, The Poet X I've recently really loved, but that's like last year everybody was fanboying about that, so I missed that because Starla didn't force me to read it early enough. Fired. The Color Purple, Black History Month. I just did my reread of that. I did an audiobook for the first time, I think. I love that one. Chrissy the Whimsy just read it and loved it too. This may be controversial. I feel like if you're going to read The Color Purple, I would say watch the film first, because holy crap, Oprah Winfrey as Miss Sophia brings so much life to that character. It's amazing. The audiobook version, at least the Apple book version of it, was read by Alice Walker, the author. She did not do Miss Sophia justice compared to Oprah Winfrey. Oprah is Miss Sophia. The Paper Magician series, but there are 3 Paper Magicians and 1 Plastic Magician novel that are all in the same world, with some very brief cameos in the Plastic Magician with characters from the Paper Magician, but very brief. Okay, everybody raves about Brandon Sanderson and his magic system and Mistborn and Elantris and yada yada, but the Paper Magician series, I don't know, I just feel like that magic system just blows all of those out of the water. And I don't see anybody ever talking about them. But I found it fascinating and interesting and unique. It was just great. Encore, a book or series you wish had just one more book. Or a sequel. Guess the Paper Magician series again. I would love another Plastic Magician book. Oh, what was I just saying? Oh, Reverie. Okay, Reverie is a young adult novel about magical daydreams and fantasy worlds that people kind of create in their heads, sort of. but it's a young adult book, and it is written as such. So I'm looking around like somebody's about to carjack me or something. I really wish there would be a alternate perspective of the same story written for adults from the perspective of the villain, but told as though he is the hero who fails. Something I've said about Reverie is the villain and the protagonist of the story are very similar, had a more negative experience in his life with their shared situation, which has kind of made him do some bad things to try to make the world a better place, but he's going about it in a really bad way. I'm trying not to spoil Reverie for you. But you could see how when the villain was younger, like they could have been the same character, and just the villain something bad happened to, whereas nothing bad happened to the protagonist. So their stories kind of veered off. One became the good guy, one became the bad guy. And I think that would be a really interesting story. And I really, really wish Ryan LaSala would write it as an adult fantasy fiction novel, because I would love that. 7. Opening Act, a book I was not expecting to love as much as I did. I recently read The Poet X and really loved that. I thought I was going to like it, but I really liked that. Dear Edward, which I read for the Barnes & Noble Book Club. I have a whole review, vlog, spoilery kind of thing about that. The scenes on the plane, okay, I'm not it's a book about an airplane crash and a lone survivor. But wow, those scenes on the plane just got more and more and more intense, and they got shorter and shorter and shorter with fewer and fewer perspectives. So it just kept feeling like it was the plane scenes were getting ramped up, and I loved the reading experience of that book. Oh, another one is 10,000 Doors of January. The first paragraph. Man, that cutesy, breaking the fourth wall kind of writing there. I really wish it had more of it throughout the book. It kind of lacked it after. It had a couple little points there, but I really wish it was more a part of what was going on. I found that really interesting, kind of Deadpool style. Number 8, Merch Table. A piece of bookish merchandise that you either own or wish you owned. Anything The Little Prince. Actually, anything The Night Circus, too. So I don't really have anything for that. Oh, I know I want a I Heart New York mug to put my Hamilton Pride playbill in for What If It's Us? I thought I had ordered it and put it in my cart when I was ordering other stuff, but I didn't. Oh, back to number 7, a book I didn't expect to like as much as I did. Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. This is the book that I read early for Black History Month, so I could donate copies of it to the, I'm doing it to a school, but to a school or library. Okay, I thought my boss was coming. The truck just went doodaloo, doodaloo. Oh my gosh, there's a character in there. Okay, I was reading it. I was scrambling to finish it before February 1st. I had too much other stuff going on where I was not going to be able to physically be able to hold a book. So I ended up having to buy the audiobook when I needed 1/3 of the book left. The narrator with one of the characters, Gum Baby, was so amazing that I started the book all the way over and listened to it from the beginning. It was so good. I can't even imagine. Kind of like Oprah Winfrey with Miss Sophia in The Color Purple. Nobody else can be Gum Baby but that narrator. Maybe Chris Tucker, thinking of The Fifth Element, could be Gum Baby. I could just picture him in the movie. Shrunk, computer shrunk down, run around. Sapadak! I know. It was hilarious. And I loved it. I loved it so much. Number 9, Concert Friend. A book that you bonded with someone over. I don't know. I haven't really... Most of the books I freak out about, it's just me freaking out about them, or me freaking out about them online to other people who don't really care that much, but have a comment section, so I'm going to fill it with me freaking out. I guess Chaz Esme now with The Night Circus. Chrissy the Whimsy now with The Color Purple. What else? Not Kristen and her books, because she did not like Dear Edward. Ah! How did you not love that? I'm going to be posting a video where I am asking for buddy read participants for tomes that I have on my to-read list for 2020. Boss is coming. I'll check back in later. Okay, we're just going to pretend that my sleeve shirt is clean and doesn't have a bunch of white fluff all over it. Okay. I think we're on question number 10, the last question of the concert tag. and that is Tour Announcement, a book that you cannot wait to be released. For this one, I think I'm going to go with 2 books. The first one being Pew, which is about a androgynous, racially ambiguous person that is discovered sleeping on a church pew one day, and this person gets bounced around between different church families, and it sounds kind of like everybody kind of is learning and straining their own sense of who they are because of Pew, which is what they nickname the ambiguous person, and ends up causing a lot of drama and self-reflection in this small church town, and I think that sounds pretty interesting. I think that one's coming out in June. Another one that I think is coming out like in May or something is Under the Rainbow, and that is about a small town that is voted the most homophobic town in America. So, when everyone finds out about this, a large group of LGBTQIA+ people decide to descend upon this town and make it their temporary home until the people have learned to accept others into their town. And that just sounds like it's going to be a whole lot of drama. I think I'm there for it. Anyways, thank you, Michael Knipp, for tagging me in this concert tag. It was fun. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to. I have a whole bunch of ideas for the videos. I just need to get some time to settle down and film them. I'm still not done with one of the shortest books on my February TBR list, which was Their Eyes Were Watching God. It is not a long book. I am loving it, but dang, it's written how they speak, and it is very difficult to just read through. I've shown people, because people keep seeing me with the same book, the same skinny little book, and saying, "You're still not done with that?" So I keep handing it to them and saying, open to any page you like and just point to a part and just try to read it. It's not an easy book to read. You're reading it like 1/10 your normal reading speed, so it's kind of difficult. Hope everybody's having a productive February TBR. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day. Hope everybody is knocking out those Blackathon, Black History, Valentine's, whatever-athons, Tome Topple 10, TBRs. There was a bunch of different reading things that you could do in February. I don't know why everybody's piling up on February. Hello, you know it's Black History Month. Why are you adding all these other options? People ain't got time for all this. Anyways, good night. And my skin looks amazing when the resolution is low and the lighting is bad and everything's blotchy.